Alright boys, today we're going to be going over the best cheap cards in Diamond Dynasty. Now I'm doing it a little bit different this time. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going position by position. We're going to be going over the best cards and how to get them, the cheapest way to get them, and the best ways that you guys are probably missing out. Now I go over a lot of cards that you guys have probably overlooked and thought they aren't really good, but I talk about why they're good in every single way. We go over every single position in this game, and you guys are definitely not going to want to miss this one out. And every single one of these cards are guys that I would put on my God squad, and that they have honestly all played with pretty much every single one of them. Before we get in this video, if you guys want to hit that like and sub button, I'd really appreciate it. And let's get right into the freaking video. Now, the first position we're going to be going over today is going to be starting pitching. I know a lot of you guys are struggling in the starting pitching department, and so what we're going to be going over is the best starters in Diamond Dynasty, and fortunately, it's got to be the best budget guy that I've had. I mean, he's in my rotation on my God squad. He's thrown 203 innings for me. This guy's just been lights out. I say it all the time, but he's 35-18. He's got a 4.6 ERA, which is really good because of the guys that I'm playing are absolutely amazing. His changeup and just his pitch mix is so good. His pitch differentials are also amazing. So that makes Forrest Whitley one of the best budget pitchers in the game. Right now, you can pick him up for literally about 10K, and this guy, he's really great. I highly recommend picking him up. Definitely the best budget beast in my opinion, hands down. Forrest Whitley makes my God squad. He's very great in this game, and you just gotta use him well. And his slider, his cutter, everything just looks different, and that's what I love about this guy. The one thing that kind of bites him is location sometimes, but usually he does pretty good. The next starting pitcher that I'm going to talk about is actually going to be Dinelson Lamet. Now, Lamet, I think is good. I've only used him a couple of times, so it's a small sample size, but in 11 in the third inning, this guy has a 1.6 ERA for me, and whenever I say that this guy's just got really good pitches, he's really great. His four-seamer gets up to 101, 102, and his two-seamer, it does look different than his four-seamer, so I like it. I don't necessarily think it's as great as maybe a sinker, but it's still pretty good. The changeup, the curveball, the slider is the primary. Honestly, at the beginning, I hated it, but the more I used him, the more I liked him. I mean, the guy's 3-0 for me. He's got 5K. This dude was really, really good. Dinelson Lamet, definitely someone you should think about picking up, and you can pick him up for right about under 5.8, so that's really, really good for a starting pitcher. Both these guys are going to be under about 12K, and all of these guys are really good guys that you can even put in your God squad. I mean, a lot of I would put him honestly over a lot of guys. I don't know if I'd put over my top 4, but if you're using someone like Seaver or Gibson, in my opinion, I believe that Lamet is better than those two. I think he's really great. The next starting pitcher we're going to be going over is actually Alec Mills. I know a lot of you guys probably know about this guy, but he's not the greatest. That's why he's definitely the third one down for me. But Alec Mills, if you need starting pitching, he is pretty decent, so he's not like the worst card in the world. Alec Mills is going for right about 18K, so honestly, I don't know if that's worth it, but I did decide to put him in this list because he is pretty good. You can also grind him, and he's pretty good and not really a bad pitcher, but I don't necessarily think he's better than those first two. Now we're going to go to the bullpen. We're going to go over the guys that I have and some of the guys that you guys definitely need. The first guy is going to be Brad Hand. Brad Hand, I mean, this guy's been really good for me. I know he has about a 5 ERA, but he's thrown 25 innings for me. The guy is under 6'5", so that's really, really good for a lefty out of the pen. The thing is he's just kind of filthy. His slider, his four-seamer, his sinker, and his curveball play very, very well. I like how his slider's his primary, and honestly, whenever he comes in the game, I'm using his slider about 60% of the time. You don't want to rely on your fastball, especially on a guy like this, whenever his best pitches is off-speed pitches. So definitely make sure you're doing that. I wouldn't necessarily consider stretching him out either because he doesn't really have a changeup or anything like that. But for a one-inning lefty, Brad Hand is your guy. And honestly, I like him better than Hader. I do. Hader's got absolutely rocked for me, and Hader's going for really expensive. And so I would highly recommend not getting Hader and getting Brad Hand. He's a cheaper option. He's better, and I love this card to death. Now we're going to get into the rest of the bullpen, and honestly, there is a lot of choices to go to. My next one, I got to put him in the list because he is an inning reward. A lot of people have him, but he's so cheap. Mariana Rivera, hands down. This guy is very, very good in 59 innings with a 3.6 ERA. He is absolutely amazing. If you guys have not picked up this card already and you're wondering why he's so cheap, it's obviously because of the 11th inning. I highly recommend getting him. He's just amazing. You're going to want this guy. He throws a cutter. He's disgusting, and sometimes this guy's better than Jansen. Other guys, definitely one of the top 4 relievers in the game. The fact that you can get him under 13K right now is just sick to me. He's absolutely great, definitely someone. The next guy that I'm going to go with is actually Aroldis Chapman. Now, I throw a lot of shade at this card, a lot of shade. but I would say he's the next budget guy. You can get him for under 15K, and he is pretty good. I mean, he is a lefty out of the pen, but he still throws cheddar. And the thing about this guy is the location, it just kills him sometimes. Whenever I threw him, he would absolutely leave pitches over the zone, but he's still a great pitcher, and I highly recommend picking him up because he is a bullpen guy. So that's going to close up the bullpen dudes. Now we're going to get into some of the starting lineup guys. Now the first guy that I got to go over is my guy Gavin Lux. Now my chat told me to get this guy, and he has played out of his mind. The diamond defense, the stats, he's really good. And honestly, lefty on lefty, I haven't noticed anything crazy over there that he's been doing really bad. He's way better defensively than Hornsby was, and I like Gavin Lux a lot. I think he's one of the better guys. And the thing is that he's going for pretty cheap. You can get this guy for under 15K, and he's a great card. He has a great swing. He's a lefty. He's got just really good pop. And I'm telling you, this guy, he's just really good. You should definitely try him out. The next guy that I'm going to go over is actually going to be Hornsby. He's also very cheap. You can get him for under about 8K, 7K right now, which is just absolutely unreal to me. This guy was a dog for me. He hit 330. He was very consistent. This guy had over 650 ABs on my squad, and I didn't want to go over him. He can also play a secondary of third, so if you guys are looking for a third baseman or someone cheap, definitely go after Hornsby. He is a dog. He can play third for you. He might not be the best defensively, but he's going to have a great bat. Now, at the third base position and the shortstop position, we're going to be going over a couple different guys. The first one that I obviously got to put out there is got to be Carlos Correa. If you guys don't have Carlos Correa and you're a budget team, I highly recommend it. I know he's just above 15K, but he's very worth it. The dude, he rakes. He said 500 for me. I know it's a small sample size, but he can also play second and third, and that's really good defense at second and third. So if you have someone like Tatis at shortstop, and I know he's an Astro, so it sucks, but he is so good in this game, and you're not going to regret putting him in your lineup. He's a great bat against righties. I mean, 116, 118. This is the best statistical hitter at the budget beast, man. He's one of the best budget beast hitters in the game. The dude is just an absolute phenom. He's got great defense. I don't know what else you need about a guy. I know he's an Astro, but stick him at third, stick him at second if you don't already have him at short. You need a shortstop. The dude is absolutely amazing. As far as other budget beasts go, I am going to say Trevor Story is probably the next guy, but honestly, Jose Iglesias has a pretty good swing too. But honestly, I would highly recommend using Correa over someone like this. Iglesias, he just has a noodle arm. I wouldn't try him at short. If you want to try him at second, I'd feel free. Third, I'd be a little skeptical of. But the guy's got good contact and a pretty decent swing, but the pop is really what kills him. As far as outfield guys, now this is where it's going to start to get a little bit interesting because there's actually a lot of grid cards for really cheap. The first center fielder that I'm actually going to go with is Joe Adele. Now, this guy in BR, he absolutely rates for me, and you can get this guy for under 15K subs. Like, this guy is really good. I like him a lot. Now, the only thing with this guy is the contact numbers are a little bit down, and it's a little bit rough, but Joe Adele is definitely someone, if you don't even want to put him as a starter, he's still going to have gold defense in the corner, so you can put him in right field, left field. Honestly, I wouldn't run him in center, and who I would run in center as a budget beast is definitely Luis Robert. Luis Robert, 5-tool player. I've went over this guy all year. He's really good, and the thing about Luis Robert is he's one of the best statistical center fielders in the game. 97 speed out there, 97 fielding. If you decide to put this guy in right, I don't know why you would. He's got a cannon. He's going to have 90 fielding over there too. Pretty decent hitting stats. I do believe he plays a little bit above his stats. He's still very good. Luis Robert is definitely someone you guys are going to want on your God squad, as he's just someone who can fill a role very well. And for, I mean, 6K, guys, you guys got to take a chance on him. I'm telling you, he is absolutely amazing. The dude just flat out rakes. The next guy that we're actually going to go over is Eloy Jimenez. Now, Eloy Jimenez, he's not in my God squad, but he's honestly up there. The dude rakes. I love this guy's swing. I only have 7 ABs with him, but I'm hitting 430 with him. The hitting stats are just off the table. I'd say he's a very good card, and he just has one of those swing. If you ever use this guy's live series card, you just know that Eloy rakes. I definitely always pick this card on BR, and the dude is just an absolute GOAT. He's so good. Eloy Jimenez is definitely someone you should pick up. I mean, you can get this guy really cheap for around 6K, guys. You guys got to pick this guy up. He is a very good bat that you guys are going to want, and I'm telling you, you're not going to regret Eloy Jimenez. He's just absolutely filthy. Now, the last kind of position that we're going to go over is right field. Now, right field, I kind of got to go a certain different way, and I'm going to go Will Myers. Now, Will Myers, if you're not going to use Luis Robert or Joe Adele, he's definitely one of the best statistical hitters in the game for the budget beast department. I know he is going for a little bit more expensive right now, but you can actually grind the moments for Will Myers. So if you really want this card, just grind the moments, get him. He can play so many secondaries, and the thing about him is he plays above his stats. He's pretty good, and he's just got a really good swing. I don't know what to say. The 85 fielding is nothing crazy in right field, but it'll do the job, and it's not going to hurt you. And if you're looking for a budget beast, pure right fielder, this is definitely your guy. I do like Joe Adele a little bit more than this card, so I would definitely lean that, and he is definitely cheaper, but Will Myers is an absolute GOAT. And at the catcher's position, you guys, you probably know this by now, but it's d'Arnaud. d'Arnaud is an absolute animal. He's so good. He's got one of the best hitting. He's just got one of the best swings in the game. I love this card to death. He absolutely rakes. He plays good defense behind the plate. He's got a cannon with a 91 arm. You know, you're not going to expect much speed for a catcher, but 47, it's actually not that bad. d'Arnaud is definitely one of the better guys in the game, and he rakes righties. I would highly recommend, if you're going to use d'Arnaud, platoon him with someone like Posey. If they're throwing a lefty, put in Posey. Posey still rakes. I definitely know a lot of people don't really like using this card, but put him in against the lefty, you're not going to regret it, and that's why I definitely go with that route. There's also Yasmani Grandal, who I'm not going to leave off the list. I love this guy. He hit 350 for me. The dude is really good. If you also need a switch hitting first baseman, he's also your dude. Yasmani definitely deserved to make this list. He's one of the best switch hitting catchers in the game, definitely by far. The dude's just an absolute animal, and you can pick him up for right under about 15K, and the dude's really, really good at the game. I would highly recommend it. Well, boys, this has been the best cards in Diamond Dynasty that you guys can get for cheap. I hope this helped you out, and this is probably going to be the final video I do for this series, as there's just not many new cards coming out, and I feel like the prices are going to stay right about the same. I don't really think there's going to be that many stub sales, and if there is, I don't think that there's enough people playing this game right now to make the cards go crazy, but these are going to be the best cards that you guys can get for cheap. I hope this helped you out. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like and sub button, as it helps me out an absolute ton. I'll catch you guys later, and might be out.